Hello, everybody. This is Kevin. I've been a New York Jets fan since 1982, and this is my quick Jets story. A couple of years ago, back in 2022, when I was living in Oklahoma City, I was working at a clinic over there as a case manager. So in my office, I had a couple of New York Jets pennants, obviously being a fan of the team. I also had some Boston Celtics pennants since I'm a Celtics fan, 2024 NBA champions, by the way. And so one of my responsibilities during my time there was I was supposed to help patients sign up for insurance, Oklahoma State insurance, which is called Sooner Care. This one day, a few months before I left, three people came into my office, three older African American people, two gentlemen and one lady. They came into my office. All three of them looked like they were in their 70s, and so I was supposed to help one of the gentlemen get signed up for that insurance. The lady of the group, she was the vocal one, basically the leader, the vocal leader of the group. So she was the one that was doing the majority of the talking. So as I sat all three of them in my office, I'm explaining to them how the insurance worked and so on and so forth. The lady looks up at the wall there, and she said, "Oh, okay, you root for the Jets." And I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, I've been a fan for 40 years. It's been a lot of frustration, a lot of heartache. But hopefully this season, which would have been the 2022 season, hopefully they'll get it. They'll get it together. Hopefully." And so she said, "Well, one of our cousins used to play for the New York Jets." And I was like, "What? Really?" And you know, I've been following the Jets for 40 years, so I know about players before I even started rooting for them, and so on and so forth. And so I said, "So who was it?" And she said it was Sherman Plunkett. Sherman Plunkett was our cousin. And I immediately knew who Sherman Plunkett is. He used to wear, I believe, number 67 way back when. And I said, "Wow, that's great." So I said, "So he has a Super Bowl ring, huh?" And she said, "No, he was not on the Super Bowl III winning team. He retired the year before. And one of the big reasons that he retired was because Mr. Plunkett and Coach Weeb Eubank were clashing heads over his weight. In the 1960s, it was not good. It was not considered good for an offensive lineman to be over 300 pounds. Fast forward 60 years, you have every lineman has to be at least 300 pounds. Back in the 1960s, in the old AFL days, that was not the case. And so we started talking. And I'm like, wow. And the Sherman Plunkett has been kind of forgotten in Jets lore, but he played a very important part in Jets history because Sherman Plunkett is the man that came up with the nickname Broadway Joe. He gave Joe Namath that nickname. And Joe Namath is on record as stating that Sherman Plunkett is the man that nicknamed him Broadway Joe. Back in the mid 90s, I saw a video of Joe Namath, and he said that Sherman Plunkett gave him the name. They were doing some kind of press conference back when Joe Namath first got drafted, when he first signed with the New York Jets, coming from the University of Alabama. And so they were shooting the breeze, and there was a lot of media there, a lot more media than what usually have attended AFL press conferences. And so Sherman Plunkett was like, "Man, hey, welcome to Broadway, man. You're Broadway Joe." And that's where the name Broadway Joe began, and it has stuck with Joe Namath ever since then, pretty much for the last 60 years. The lady that's Sherman Plunkett's cousin, she said that Sherman Plunkett clashed with Weeb Eubank about the weight. Coach Eubank wanted him to lose weight, and that was something that Sherman Plunkett struggled with, which led to his retirement after the 1967 season. And she also stated that Mr. Plunkett struggled with obesity after his time in the NFL, and he struggled with heart disease and diabetes. And if I remember correctly, he passed away in 1989 due to those complications. But all these years, I had thought that Sherman Plunkett had been on the Super Bowl III team, and it turns out he was not. He missed out on that Super Bowl winning team that beat the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III, 16-7. Unfortunate, but you know that's just how it goes. Nevertheless, Sherman Plunkett should not be forgotten in Jets history because he is the man that gave Broadway Joe that nickname. So, needless to say, I ended up having Jets history literally in my office as a Jets fan. I'm sure fans of other teams have met, players that they root for. So I'm sure plenty of other fans out there have gotten a chance to experience something like I've experienced, and hopefully all my Jets fans out there, maybe they've interacted with a former player's family or current player's family, and had the same experience that I did. That was a great experience for me to have Sherman Plunkett's family in my office. But that's it for now. That's one of my that's my quick short Jet story, and I'll probably be doing some more of these videos later on down the road. Bye bye.